Imagine a world without ice cream. No cones on a hot summer day, no birthday scoops, no midnight craving satisfied by a cold, creamy bite. It's hard to picture, right? But this frozen delight didn't just appear overnight. Its story is a journey that stretches back thousands of years, across empires, royal courts, and even world wars. It's a tale of innovation, luxury, and a little bit of happy accidents. So grab your favorite flavor, get comfortable, and let us take a delicious trip back in time to uncover the sweet history of ice cream. Our story begins more than 2,000 years ago, not in a modern ice cream parlor, but in ancient China. Long before freezers and cones, people were already experimenting with frozen desserts. They would venture into the mountains to gather snow and ice, then mix it with fruit and honey. This was one of the earliest versions of what we might call ice cream, a simple, refreshing treat for the elite. At the same time, over in ancient Rome, the powerful Emperor Nero had a similar idea. He was famous for his extravagant lifestyle, and his desserts were no exception. Nero would order his servants to race to the mountains, collect fresh snow, and bring it back to the palace before it melted. This snow was then flavored with rich honey and exotic fruit jusaza, true symbol of power and a luxury only the emperor and his guests could enjoy. Think of it as the original Italian ice, reserved for the 1% of the Roman Empire. Meanwhile, in Persia, what we now know as modern-day Iran, a different kind of frozen treat was being perfected. It was called sharbat. This wasn't just flavored snow. It was a more complex creation made with ice, fragrant rose water, sugar, and various fruits. The name itself might sound familiar. The word sherbet that we use today actually comes directly from this ancient Persian tradition. So even thousands of years ago, across different continents and cultures, humanity was already falling in love with the idea of frozen sweetness. It was a universal craving waiting for its moment to evolve. For centuries, these early forms of frozen desserts remained a well-kept secret among the wealthy in Asia and the Middle East. But then, thanks to expanding trade routes like the Silk Road, these ideas began to travel west. And when they reached Italy during the Renaissance, something truly magical happened. This is where the story of ice cream as we know it really starts to take shape. Italian cooks, known for their culinary creativity, took the basic concept of a frozen treat and elevated it. They weren't just mixing snow with fruit anymore. They started experimenting with new ingredients, milk, cream, and sugar. This was a game changer. It added a richness and a smoothness that flavored ice had never had before. But the real breakthrough came from a simple scientific discovery. Italian chefs figured out that adding salt to the ice surrounding their mixing container made the ice much, much colder. This technique, called freezing point depression, allowed them to freeze their creamy mixtures more effectively and, more importantly, more smoothly. It prevented large ice crystals from forming, resulting in a soft, velvety texture that was much closer to the modern ice cream we love today. In the city of Florence, the powerful and influential Medici family, famous patrons of the arts, also became patrons of this new dessert. They served these incredible frozen creations at their lavish banquets, helping to popularize them among the European elite. Ice cream was no longer just flavored snow. It was transforming into a culinary art form, a symbol of Italian ingenuity and sophistication. The foundation had been laid for ice cream to conquer the world. The next chapter of our story takes us from the creative kitchens of Italy to the lavish royal courts of France. In the year 1533, a significant royal marriage took place. Catherine de' Medici, from the famous Florentine family, married King Henry II of France. And when she moved to Paris, she didn't come alone. She brought her personal chefs with her, and along with them, their secret recipes for those incredible Italian frozen desserts. When these creamy frozen treats were served at the French royal court, they caused a sensation. The French aristocracy, who thought they had seen it all, were completely amazed. The texture, the flavor, the sheer novelty of it was unlike anything they had ever tasted. Ice cream quickly became the ultimate symbol of elegance and luxury. It was the must-have dessert at every royal feast, a closely guarded secret of the palace. For a long time it remained an exclusive pleasure, enjoyed only by kings, queens, and their noble guests. But the real revolution, the moment ice cream became a treat for the people, happened in 1686. An Italian immigrant named Francesco Procopio dei Coltelli opened a cafe in Paris called La Procope. This wasn't just any cafe. It became one of the most famous intellectual and social hubs in the city. And on its menu was something extraordinary: ice cream. For the very first time in history, ordinary citizens, writers, artists, and thinkers, not just royalty, could walk in, sit down, and order a scoop of this frozen wonder. Le Procope is still open today, a testament to its incredible legacy. This was a pivotal moment. Ice cream had stepped out of the palace and onto the streets of Paris, ready to be discovered by everyone. By the 1700s, ice cream had sailed across the Atlantic Ocean and landed in America. It quickly became a favorite among the colonial elite. Even the founding fathers were fans. Records showed that leaders like George Washington and Thomas Jefferson both owned ice cream making equipment and frequently served it to guests at their homes. Jefferson even brought back a vanilla ice cream recipe from his time in France, helping to popularize the flavor in the United States. But making it was still incredibly difficult. It was a slow, labor-intensive process that involved hours of manual churning and chilling. Ice cream remained a special occasion treat, something you couldn't just whip up on a whim. Then, in 1843, an inventor named Nancy Johnson changed everything. Frustrated with the tedious process, she invented the hand-cranked ice cream freezer. Her design was simple, but brilliant. It had an inner metal cylinder to hold the ice cream mixture, an outer wooden bucket for the ice and salt, and a crank attached to a paddle that would stir the mixture as it froze. Suddenly, making ice cream at home became dramatically easier and faster. What was once a royal luxury that required a team of servants was now becoming a household treat that a family could make together on a Sunday afternoon. Nancy Johnson's invention democratized ice cream, paving the way for it to become America's favorite dessert. Now here's one of the sweetest accidents in culinary history. We have the ice cream, but what about the cone? For that, we travel to the 1904 World's Fair in St. Louis. It was a massive event celebrating innovation and culture from around the globe. As the story goes, it was a hot day, and an ice cream vendor at the fair was doing booming business. He was so popular, in fact, that he ran out of clean dishes to serve his ice cream in. He was about to close up shop when he noticed the vendor in the booth next to him. This neighbor was selling a thin, crisp Persian waffle called a zalabia. In a brilliant moment of on-spot creativity, an idea sparked. Why not roll up one of those waffles into a cone shape and put a scoop of ice cream on top? They tried it, and it was an instant success. The ice cream cone was born. It was portable, it was delicious, and best of all, you could eat the container. No more washing dishes. This simple, accidental invention was a perfect marriage of convenience and flavor. Visitors to the fair went wild for it, and the idea spread like wildfire. The ice cream cone quickly became a global sensation, forever changing the way we enjoy our favorite frozen treat. As we moved into the 20th century, two major developments launched ice cream into the modern world. The first was the advancement of refrigeration technology. With the invention of commercial freezers and refrigerated trucks, ice cream could finally be produced on a massive scale, stored for long periods, and transported across the country. It was no longer a fleeting homemade treat. It became an affordable and widely available product you could find in any corner store. This availability made ice cream more than just a dessert. It became a cultural touchstone. During the Great Depression in the 1930s, when times were tough, a scoop of ice cream was a small, affordable moment of comfort and happiness. It became known as a morale booster. This idea was so powerful that during World War II, the U.S. military actually considered ice cream essential for troop morale. It was supplied to soldiers on the front lines as a taste of home, a reminder of the peace and comfort they were fighting for. Ice cream had become an emotion, a symbol of joy, nostalgia, and a simple pleasure in a complicated world. Today, the story of ice cream continues to unfold all around the globe, with every culture adding its own unique flavor and twist. In Japan, you'll find matcha ice cream, a beautiful green desert that reflects the country's centuries-old tea tradition. It offers a perfect balance of bitter and sweet. In India, there's kulfi. It's not churned like regular ice cream, which gives it a denser, richer, almost chewy texture. It's often flavored with cardamom, saffron, and pistachios. And if you ever visit Turkey, you might see vendors putting on a show with dondurma. This is a stretchy, chewy ice cream made with an ingredient called salep. The vendors use long paddles to stretch and toss it around, turning the simple act of serving a scoop into a playful performance art. From ancient snow mixed with honey in an emperor's palace, to a happy accident at a world's fair. to the countless flavors enjoyed around the world today, ice cream has traveled through empires, revolutions, and centuries of human innovation. And yet every single scoop still carries a little taste of that incredible history. So next time you're enjoying your favorite flavor, whether it's classic vanilla, rich chocolate, or something more exotic, take a moment to remember its amazing journey. You're not just eating a dessert, you're tasting 2,000 years of human creativity. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more delicious stories.